All right, folks, it's day 3 of guitar status check-in, and we already saw the 513 Rosewood. We saw the 1981 Les Paul. Now we're going to check out this little case. Okay, it's not a little case at all. It's large. It's a PRS case, guys. For those of you who don't know, it's a hollow body case, and I have 3 PRS hollow bodies. So it has to be one of them. Which one? I guess we'll have to find out. So sorry folks, I brought it to my bedroom because my living room is currently occupied. So let's open up the case. Is this maybe it's the hollow body spruce? Or is it the 1999 NAMM special? Honestly, I can't remember. But we'll know in a second. Oh, it's neither. It's the third hollow body. This is a McCarty 594 Hollowbody II. A very, very interesting and unusual guitar. This is from 2019, so it's relatively new. And it's just a Hollowbody II, like you would have, which means you've got maple on the back, maple in front, little splice of mahogany in between. This one is a dark pearl, so you can't see the plain maple exposed sides like we do on some PRSs. And what makes this different versus a normal 594, rather a normal hollow body, it has the 594 scale length of 24.594. It has the 594 Tunematic style bridge, but not PRS's version of Tunematic. Hence, it has a Les Paul style pickups pickups and pickup selector and knobs, because basically a 594 is PRS's Les Paul, but this is a hollow body version of it in the PRS body style. Still has the thick 59, or rather this is called a pattern vintage neck, which is like a 1959 neck. Has the solid PRS. This is before PRS made, in my opinion, a poor choice to go to vintage style tuners. These are locking tuners. I prefer locking tuners even on my Les Paul style guitars. And the back is this beautiful piece of flayed maple. Yeah, it's a great guitar. I'm just going to lay it out for us to see. Sorry, the lighting in the room, got a few blackout curtains here and there, so bear with the lighting, but you can see this is fairly decent flame. I wouldn't call this outrageous flame. It's what I call sober flame. And then the birds, the inlays, all standard PRS fare. This is a nice hard case, which PRS doesn't do that much anymore. And when you look inside, you'll get all the accoutrement. This is after PRS has shifted out of making those bird hang tags I really like. So this has the Hollowbody 594 pattern vintage 2019. Of note, it has the 5815 TCI pickup. So these are, so in fact, guys, what I would say is this is, but you remember how I talked about the golden era of PRS? This hits kind of this one of those spots, because this is when you get 2 critical upgrades without any of the downgrades. The critical upgrades you get are the TCI pickups, which are great. The upgrades that you get are, this era already should be doing nitro instead of poly, which is great. Nitro over CAB. So instead of the poly that you normally get in PRS, you should get nitro on this. But you don't lose out on those locking tuners, because they then shifted everything to, for the vintage style guitars, they shifted it to vintage tuners. You still get the locking tuners. Great piece of rosewood. And let's talk about what this model is. Let's get to the studio and we'll talk about what this model is, what's the significance, and let's get some sounds. Alrighty folks, welcome to the studio. Let's talk about this guitar. What makes this model special and who is it for? So I already mentioned it's basically a PRS hollow body and a McCarty 594 mixed, so it's got Les Paul like attributes. This guitar is really for people who want a Les Paul, who want that tone, who like everything to do with a Les Paul, but they either have a bad back, they have back problems, or they just don't fancy carrying a heavy guitar, or they're a little bit older, so that something that heavy is no longer viable for them. So if you like a Les Paul, you want that Les Paul tone, you want all the functionality that you associate with Les Paul, the 3-way, 2 volumes, 2 tones, and you want that tone, and you still want everything that the Les Paul does, yet you don't want the weight. This is it. This is the ticket. On top of that, because it has one factor more than a Les Paul, which is that these 5815 pickups split, you get incredibly usable single coil tones. So if you want, say you want a light guitar that can make any sound close enough, a really light guitar, and you don't want a headless guitar, because not all of us like headless guitars. I don't like headless guitars, as an example. Just an aesthetic thing, I guess, more than functional. This is really the guitar for you. So now onto this guitar. First things as always, we'll check how it's doing. Let's check the relief, bottom out the bottom fret, press the top first fret and check the bounciness. Actually, all my guitars relief is fine. Not that I'll be adjusting the relief in these videos, but is this something I check? Action is also great. Visual check. This is not a scientific check, but I know what I like. It's not going to be in tune. It's been a while. Yeah, it's not in tune. So let's just get this thing tuned up. It's actually a fair bit out of tune, unlike the other guitars we've tried so far. I wonder why. Maybe I was playing around with the tuning of this guitar. I have a feeling. But that's one advantage of this PRS locking tuners and this hardtail. It gets back in tune instantly. So let's get some tones on this guitar. We'll adjust it so you can see it a little bit more. Yep, it's a Les Paul neck sound. Put a bit of tube screamer on it. Exactly that Les Paul sound. Bridge pickup. Let's do a nice loop. So I'm going to try and do something a little bit different. My Helix is also getting old. Actually, my Helix is more than 10 years old at this point. So I'm going to do a cleanish, kind of a strummy sound without all the delay. Yeah, I like that. This is taking advantage of the coil splits. All right, let's try this out. Oops. Something wrong with it's my Helix, it's not me. Let's get a nice going. And some wah. This does the the Les Paul thing. It really does. It sounds like it, and it has all the PRS attributes, which is it will stay perfectly in tune, no matter what you do to it. It's light. It's got the playability of a PRS because PRS is always more playable than Les Paul. You can go up and down the neck without even trying. It's as playable as any lead guitar. It has a big neck, which is a characteristic of Les Paul 59s or PRS McCarty 594s, but it really does not get in the way at all. Like you can just, I'm not a shredder, but this is a proper shredding machine. You can easily shred. It's not hard at all. And yet, you have that beautiful clean tone that only a Les Paul, and because it has a combination of a maple body and semi-hollow, it kind of somehow has body and bite at the same time. That's one of the reasons why I got this guitar, I have to tell you. Let's hear how the single coil in the neck sounds, just by itself. Let's put a bit of Marshall kind of a sound, but we still want some nice delay, some effects. Let's see how this sounds. You can tell it has definition even with a distorted tone. All right, folks, so this has been episode number 3, the McCarty 594 Hollowbody 2019. In what's the color, by the way? I think this is like a McCarty burst or some sort of McCarty tobacco. It's probably a tobacco burst, I'm not exactly sure. It's a nice guitar, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully if you're in the market for something like this, this video has been helpful. I'll see you next time.